Hello, I'm Sebastian Andrew. Happy Earth Day. For most pagans, every day is Earth Day as we watch the world basically come apart with plants dying, animals dying, um, basically just watching the takers destroy the planet we're living on. Of course, now the takers are working on trying to get into space so they can do it to another planet. So it won't be Earth Day, it'll be Solar System Day. I'm working on stuff too. I'm a bit of an innovator. I take ideas from lots of places and put it together. It's like my magic. One thing I'm working on is an idea that I got from looking at a picture on Facebook. This is it's a vertical garden, basically a vertical hydroponic garden, but it's for outside. It can go in a greenhouse, one of those plastic ones that you can get on Amazon for like $60. Um, Now the picture that I saw didn't show like a pump or any of the how you would get the fluids moving around in the garden. My idea though is using a solar powered fountain pump, and that would get the the nutrients moving through the pipes, actually moving up into the top of the tower and then moving down into what looks like a maze. And it looks like a rather interesting closed system thing. One thing I would add would be probably a solar powered like an Arduino or an Raspberry Pi to um, run the nutrients on a time frame, on a time scale, rather than all the time. Although it could be, you could do it all the time. I mean, as long as you kept an eye on the level of the nutrients, it should work. Um, and I showed the picture to my first wife, and she said she'd get lost trying to put it together. That's where I come in. I'd be over there putting this thing together. I'd have it up in maybe I don't know. Well, I had the garden itself up in probably an hour, but and then leave it to her to put in the plants she wants, and I'd tell her how to do the nutrients and how to start it because she has a brown thumb like I do. Actually, she has a brown thumb worse than I do. So um, that's one idea I had. I'm stuck on hydroponics this week for some reason. Um, Another idea I had was something I'd love to do, but not. I don't think I could do it here. Would be a closed system that runs um, up above everything in an apartment, and it could run like a. Do you ever see the trains that some people did? The train models that ran from room to room, and it ran along the top of the wall near the ceiling. Well, that's what this would do. It's a hydroponic system, closed hydroponic system, um, out of PVC pipe, and it's hanging on a rack, basically a piece of board with um, cables on hooks on the ceiling, and you can use the LED light strips to as grow lights. Yeah, I mean, you could probably get grow lights in a light strip anyway. But I mean, imagine that you could run it all along the wall, all around a room, or all around the apartment, And I mean, if you did each room, if you did one set in each room, then you could do different plants in each room, and you do different plants all along it anyway. But you do the smaller plants or do strawberries. I mean, you could imagine strawberries hanging down, and as they get fuller, then you can pick them and eat them and just leave the plants up there, and they just keep coming back. Um, that's one idea. I'm giving you my really good ideas. Um, I don't usually do that. I keep my ideas to myself and write them down and hope that I can get around to building them sometime in the future. So if you're watching this and you build them, let me know. Let me know how it works. Um, but you'd have to use something. I don't know, probably a 4 or 5 inch PVC pipe, and you'd have to drill holes in it, or use the wastewater pipes that already have the holes in them. Except that's holes all around. You don't want that because the nutrients would be raining on you. Um, so probably like I said, about a 5 inch, 4 or 5 inch pipe, and then you'd drill the holes and you'd hang cups in each of the holes and put the plants in that you want or seeds, and let the nutrients run through the pipes and feed the plants. That would be something to see. That would be something to do. I might look into creating a small closed loop model, something that I can use as a proof of concept model, and see if anybody would be interested in building such a thing, whether it's the vertical tower or the ceiling plants. Um, but that's something. Um, one of the things I was looking at, it's not something to build, it's just something to do. But I was starting to get into the idea of hemp, um, not not pot, not marijuana with the high THC, the actual hemp, the stuff used to make ropes and hempcrete and plastics and that kind of thing. And one thing I learned was that marijuana and hemp tend to bring back dead soil. So a lot of those farms that are out west that aren't growing anything, or even dead plots in your city, if you planted hemp on those plots, eventually they would, I'd say 1 or 2 growing seasons, eventually they would come back to being um, viable plots of land, places to grow other things, really good, good vegetables and that kind of thing. And it's unique to know that we are coming into a time where people can start growing those plants without getting in trouble now. And you can, I mean, in addition to enjoying the recreational aspects of that plant, you can also be helping the land. Because, I mean, it doesn't have to be dead land, but imagine that. Imagine, like, just going on bombing runs, the seed bombs. This was years ago. What people would do is they'd make, like, peat balls with seeds in them, and then they'd go and throw them around on the fallow land or open lots in cities, and flowers would grow for the bees, or just beautify the place. But now you can make seed bombs with marijuana seeds. How about that idea? And you can go and throw it. I mean, now this is mean, but imagine throwing it like in your nasty neighbor's yard and having it grow, um, and then be utilized by the various neighbors. There's that idea. it's, think of new things. Think of things that you can do for the earth that other people don't think of, or apply your own growing techniques indoors or just along the edge of your building. Now, me, I'm stuck here, and there's really not any place to grow anything in this building, but there is a nice big empty lot across the street. Unfortunately, there is a wonderful older man who goes and mows it every week. Um, so if I tried to plant anything, he'd be mowing down all those plants. I can't do that unless I do it maybe along the fence. There's an old fence in the back, and I could maybe, surreptitiously put some plant seeds down and something that would, creeper up the fence and beautify it that way. And see if he leaves it. If he leaves it, that's fine. If he doesn't, then you know it's mulch. But I mean, there's so many things that you can do, and pretty much everybody who watches my videos has some kind of imagination, or at least some kind of twisted thinking. I think. I mean, if you watch my occult videos on TikTok, um, you got a pretty good idea of where I was going with it before I realized that it's basically chaos magic. It's bits and pieces from various traditions, all stuck together into something that works. And so now, is in addition to magic, start taking ideas from other things. Like today, it's growing from different ways of gardening, like companion plants. Um, the Native Americans did, I think it was corn and cucumbers and something else. And they did it that way because the corn would grow up and then the cucumbers would weave up the corn stalks. And then there was something else, but and they all worked together to make the land more viable and continue to be viable. I can't remember the other vegetable. Tomatoes or potatoes? Might have been tomatoes. I don't remember. I'll have to look it up. But for us to do something like that, do companion planting, do something to help increase the beauty of our world, to help our world. And if you grow food and you can't use it, give it to people. Don't sell it. Give it. There is no reason. I mean, there is a reason that you could be making money off of it, but there's more of a reason to be generous and to give to people who don't have. So there's that. And it's a lovely thought for Earth Day, is giving of your time and your energy to not only beautifying the planet, but to giving people who don't have. So there's that. And I hope you come back again and listen to me rant some more. Good day.